Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another plan with me, the correct one that I'm supposed to be on. If you missed Monday's video, in the middle of planning and trying to figure out what dates I was doing just to make sure my dates were okay, I realized that I had put the kit on the wrong week. And so you're getting a bonus kit or a bonus video this week. And then we're gonna finish the story that I started telling in on Monday's video. So this is my Christmas night kit. This was the one that I was talking about. Remember Santa's legs dangling down. This is the one that I wanted to use the week of Christmas, but it didn't happen that way. So we used the Christmas morning one. I still think this one is perfect. It's holiday-y and I love it. So we're just gonna get right into it and get laying things down. You're gonna get some bonus videos this week for sure. So Monday's was a normal video. Today's video is not such a normal one. I very rarely do videos on Tuesdays. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, regular scheduled programming. Saturday will be the 17th, which means, which do we want to do? Do we want to do glitter headers or do we want to do patterned headers? Let's stick with the glitter. Why not? So, here we go. Okay. So, what was I saying? Forgot what I was saying. Crap. I look at something and I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, Saturday's video will be the monthly mystery kit video, and that will show you what this month's mystery kit is all about, which is pretty. I love it. Well, if you saw the picture, it's a museum theme, but it's a museum theme, but it's not like you just watch Saturday's video, okay? I'm better at showing than I am at explaining. Like, I think we've figured this one out by now. So, but yeah. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the story. Where did we leave off? Okay, so I get there. They'd already been working for about an hour and a half, and not many cookies. In fact, actually, only the first batch of cookies was in the oven. So we were at our local church. There's 2 ovens there, which I'm super thankful that there was 2 ovens there, or this would have taken a really long time. But had the 2 ovens going, and they only had the first batch of cookies in there. So I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a long day. So to kind of give a recap, my mother used to make tons of sugar cookies. I mean, dozens of sugar cookies every single year for Christmas. I had to be a part of it. I did not like it. I still don't like baking. You know, can I do it? Sure, I can. Do I do it for joy? No, I do not. I find it more to be, I look at cooking more as like your necessary evil type stuff. Like, you don't necessarily need to do it, but then when you have to do it, it's not like the most joyous. Anyways, whatever. If you're a baker, I give you all the props because it's just not my jam. So I assess the situation and I can tell that there's a lot going on. Like, we're talking a lot going on. All right, so this is gonna be the 12th through the 18th. And when I say a lot going on, I don't mean like in the best of ways. I mean like a lot of things are starting to go wrong. And that's the thing that I don't like about baking, is that if you don't have certain specific environments, things can go wrong pretty darn fast. Okay? So, and it's really, really hard to salvage it. So, I walked in and the first thing I noticed is, one, the building was way too hot. Now, the kitchen we were working out of, for some reason, the air conditioning doesn't work in there. And I find that extremely weird. So I definitely have, to talk to some you know, people who know the building a lot better than I do to see how we can get the AC working in that kitchen, because that's a pretty big deal. Okay, so the kitchen was extremely hot. We have also had a lot of, you know, rough, humid days lately. So the humidity was high in there. So you had a lot of things working against you, but obviously with the heat and everything, the one thing you have to worry about with sugar cookies is your butter melting. And as she was rolling out the dough, one, it was sticking to her mat, and two, her cookies were like not keeping their shape, so they were melting. So, and she's an older lady. This lady is so adorable and so sweet and so kind. So, but she definitely does have a habit of biting off more than she can chew. And stuff. And I get it. She has cancer, so she wants to be able to do all the stuff that, you know, she can until it's her time. So I get it. Like, I totally get it. And there's nothing wrong there. But yeah, she definitely had bit off more than she could chew for this particular event. And we definitely came in and saved the day. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, you know, I'm not trying to like take over your thing and stuff, but your sugar cookie dough is melting. The butter in the dough is way too soft. All of your dough needs to go back into the refrigerator. She's like, what? Why does it need to do that? And I was like, because it's sugar cookie dough and it needs to go into the refrigerator. So you go sit down. I'm gonna take over for you here real quick. We're gonna get this all picked up, all this mess, and we're gonna get it into the refrigerator so that it can chill properly and we can roll this out. She was like, okay. I was like, yeah, let's get this done. I also wasn't feeling very well on Saturday, so I very much was like not expecting to walk in and see. I actually thought more people had showed up, so I was not in the best spirits in the fact that this invitation was given out and a lot of people did not show up. So I was like, okay, we definitely have a job to do. And I was like, we're gonna get this done, because we're not gonna be here all day. I know you don't want to be here all day. I don't want to be here all day. We're gonna get this done. And I can tell she was immediately relieved. So we got to it. We got the kids situated with their stuff. And they helped, you know, do the cookies and roll them out. And I moved them from oven to cooling rack. We got a fan out to help cool the cookies down a little bit quicker, so we could, because we did also have a very, very small space. So we did have a small space that we had to work in. So we had to definitely move quicker. And I had to, you know, I would roll the dough out and I'd cut a few cookies, roll the dough out, cut a few cookies, then I'd have to pack it all up and put it back in the fridge. That's how hot it was and how quickly the butter and the dough was melting. It was, oh my goodness. I'm surprised that we even got to where we did in it all. But, you know, just like hunker down, get it going, here we go. So then she wanted to pipe the icing on the sugar cookies. And by this point, it was like 2 o'clock. And was it about 2 o'clock? It was about 1. No, it was about 1:30. We had already been there. The kids had been there for 4.5 hours. I had been there for about 3.5. And I was tired. So I was done. And I was like, oh no, we're not piping. Nope. We're not piping on these. You have way too many cookies to do, and none of us have the experience with piping, because what she wanted to do is she wanted to pipe an outline around the cookie, and then she wanted to pipe in the flood consistency icing. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not. This is where I was like, I'm sorry, but we cannot do that. That is too much work, because if you've ever piped icing onto any type of cookie, you know that you get a hand cramp really, really fast. And I was like, I'm not about to get hand cramps. I do not want hand cramps. So I was like, I don't want to come off as being like rude or mean or anything, but no. And she actually didn't even have the correct recipe for a flood consistency icing. I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, my mother trained me very, very well for all of this, because I remember just years of this going on and having to do, you know, royal icing and all the different consistencies and stuff like that. But then my mother also, and at one point I baked a lot of cakes and working with buttercream icing. And I was like, oh yeah, you have a buttercream icing going on, not a flood consistency icing. So I'm not piping this, and neither is anybody else. We'll be here for the next 2 days is what will happen. She was like, are you serious? I was like, oh yeah, I'm for real right now. It's a thing. It's a thing. She's like, oh, I didn't know that. She's like, we just did it all old school and this is what we did. And I was like, yeah, we're new school and we find hacks for everything. So we thinned out the icing a little bit to make it more of a thinner buttercream. And then I had the missionaries finally came over, and I had the missionaries sit there in like an assembly line, and they took the cookies and they dipped it into the buttercream because it was thinner, so that they actually didn't have to spread anything. So here they are dipping cookies, and then the kids decorated them. And we decorated those cookies so fast. She was like, oh my gosh, we would have been here for hours if it wasn't for you. I was like, I'm glad that I could help. I'm glad that the experience of what my mother put me through growing up has come to help out, because yeah, it was long and arduous. And that's the thing that I think about baking that I don't like, because let's face it, at the end of the day, experience is always going to be the best teacher. But if you don't do it on a regular basis, you're also not going to know what to do for certain things. And I think that's the point that we were in. Like, yeah, you can bake cookies, but when you don't bake a lot of cookies in these big batches, it's almost like, what do you do? What do you use? How do you overcome the obstacles that are there? So I am extremely grateful that all those years of having to do sugar cookies in the kitchen that I didn't want to do paid off in dividends yesterday. It was preparation years before I even needed it. Am I making sugar cookies for my own treats this year? Heck no. Heck no, I am not making sugar cookies. I'm all sugar cookied out. They're actually not even my favorite cookies, so I don't even bother with them. My mother used to make them all the time for my husband when we lived up in Utah, because he loved them. But I was like, that's the only time you're gonna get them. And she'll send them to us every couple of years when she does them. She hasn't done them in years because her shoulder hurts too much. See, once again, if you don't do it and you start to do it, you're gonna get cramps and things, and it's just not fun at that point. But yeah, I don't make sugar cookies. I'm done with sugar cookies, but I do have my own treats that I'm gonna be making this year because my husband begged me to. But sugar cookies is not on that list. So that is the great cookie adventure of 2022. So if any of you ever come across and need help with sugar cookies or just cookie baking in general, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, you can just always message me. Will ask you what your environment is like, what the current humidity is going. Have you chilled your dough? Here are some tips that you can do. Oh, I mean, really, honestly, it's funny. In hindsight, it's funny, and I'm really glad that we could help out. So yeah, but the cookie adventure of 2022 is over, and I don't think even my daughter wants to see another cookie again. So here we are. But yeah, I haven't decided. So we have to, well, we were going to be going to visit my husband's parents when his sister came over from California. But they are running into some vehicle issues and will not be able to make it for Christmas. And so we are now trying to decide when we can go, because the weekend that they wanted us to go was really rough. They wanted us to go this weekend. And I'm like, man, that's such a rough weekend with the shop getting ready to close and making sure everything's, you know, hunky-dory and all that jazz. But now that they're not, and to get all the treats made. Okay, so we have treats to be made. And one of the things was, actually, I wanted to make some of the treats this last week. Obviously not feeling well, I wasn't going to go for that right away. But yeah, we never got to make any treats this last weekend. But now with her not coming down and us having a little bit more leeway into things, I think this weekend will be our treat making weekend that we do. And I know that my husband's just gonna be like, whoa, because I don't know if I mentioned it on last Saturday's video. I think I had mentioned something about it, how many bags I brought in. I brought in a lot of bags of holiday making stuff, like treat stuff. God, I've got the hiccups so bad. Yeah, let's do the lined one. I'm gonna try and alternate these. So, but yeah, I brought in so many treat bags and stuff, and we have a lot to make. We have like 10 boxes of treats that we need to make. So it's not like it's a little endeavor of treats. We actually have a lot to make. But I'm gonna get the kids involved, because most of it isn't baking related. I think there's only one thing that we need to bake. Well, technically two things that we need to bake. But other than that, we don't really have a lot of things to bake. A lot of it is just more melted chocolate and dipping and stuff like that. Those are my kind of treats. I love anything that's salty and sweet. Like that's my jam. I shouldn't say that, because I do have some things that are salty and sweet that I don't like. But we're doing a lot of like dipped chocolate type stuff. So, all right, I'm trying to think what I want to do here. Let's see. Let's go box, followed by full box. I think that'll work. So yeah, that's what we have going on. So that's what I'm going to try and get done. Oh, I didn't want to have these two so close together. Dang it. Oh well. Actually, let's see if I can lift this one up. Where's my sticker lifter? Let's see if we can lift this guy up here, and move these around. I think that will be better. Oh man, I love this sticker lifter. It helps so much. I'm not a fan of undo. I don't use undo. I know a lot of people do, but I don't like to have to sit and wait for things to dry. I don't like how it feels wet. It just is not a fan of mine. So this sticker lifter from Purdy Planner works out super perfectly. It's actually, I think it's marketed as like a pop tab, like a soda pop tab lifter and stuff, because I've seen these before. In fact, I think my grandmother back in like the 80s and 90s had something very similar to this. So, but to use it as a sticker lifter is actually pretty ingenious. So, just saying. But yeah, that was all the adventures that I did this last weekend, and stuff. So, and then And the kids, let's just say that when you give sprinkles to kids, it can be either a really great thing or a very, like, that was a mistake thing. And it turned out to be actually a rather great thing. They took their time and gave a lot of effort. I know that there's two greens together, not really what I wanted, but that's okay. It took their time, gave a lot of effort, and I really loved how it turned out for the trees. So we did throw a couple snowflakes in there and everything, but yeah, I have to finish getting my list ready so that I can finish the last little bit of shopping that we need to do for the treats. But yeah, I'm gonna get my husband involved. He doesn't know this yet, so hopefully he doesn't watch this video before we do treat making. I'm gonna get my husband involved, and we are literally going to have an assembly line going for some of this treat making, because it really isn't that hard, and you just want it to be able to go a little bit quicker than normal. Okay, I think I'm going to use, because I don't want to pull out, because it's going to be very hard to match this maroony purple with any of the colors from the subs. And I just know that because this is not a color I gravitate towards for like a color on a sub, because there are solid stickers and things like that for you to be able to write. I want you to be able to write on. So yeah, we'll figure this out. We're just gonna pull those in lieu of the sticky notes, which honestly is completely fine because it's the weekend. And I'm gonna kind of mimic, I think, the weekend. I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet. So let's see. Let's pull this off here, and then I'm gonna take a little gander at everything and see what we got going on. So, but yeah, I have 10 boxes of treats to make, and I got to get a few of them off into the mail ahead of time. But we definitely need to figure out what day we're going to visit the in-laws, because if we're still gonna go like on one of these days, then I gotta make treats early. So yeah, definitely have some things I gotta figure out there. Let's say yay. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down here, and then we'll use the yellow one. Let's put the yellow one up here so that we're not totally mimicking everything. And then we have aligned, and the last, nope, we're gonna do this color, the next line. I know it's not, once again, the weekend's just a little bit different, and then that actually gives us some room to use a couple more of these stitched quarter boxes, unless I want to do the stitched appointment labels. If I could lay things down straight, that would be super great. I'm just looking at things a little wonky over here. But I'm really glad. I really love this paper and how it just, the stickers help just peel up off of it just so much more nicely. And this is all crooked. See, everything's all just crooked. I just can't lay things down straight. Even when I have lines, I still can't lay things down straight. Is that better? Yeah, it's good enough for now. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. All right, let's see. Can we put a stitched appointment label? Sure can. All right, and let's do another stitched appointment label here. Fill up that space. Okay, we're looking mighty fine, and we just have the sidebar to go. So yeah, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season right now. That you're not too clobbered with everything, because I know how crazy it can get around the holiday seasons. I know that so many of you are going to be getting Happy Mail packages this week. obviously it's always dependent on the mail service, because even I can have delays in mail service. It's just one of those things. Like, I love, this is sarcastically, but I love pulling up my tracking and seeing your package is arriving late. Yeah, I so love seeing that. But yeah, it even happens to me. So I know we're all just excited to get Happy Mail, but it's coming. I promise. And I can't wait to see your Happy Mail hauls. Please tag me on Instagram, on Facebook, share them in the Facebook group. I'm all for that. It makes me super happy to see, makes me excited, and I know it excites everybody else too. We all love seeing what somebody else buys. So feel free to post away. And yeah, all right, let's see. Let's go ahead and, I kind of want to keep the red going in this area, so let's hope that I can get stuff evened out. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I said that I wanted to keep the red, so let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what we can keep happening over here. And then I have another thing here that we can space, and I have a red quarter box, and I think that's gonna be pretty gosh darn good. Yeah, I like it. It works. I think it works rather well. Okay, let's open this up and take a gander. Okay, so this was the kit that I wanted to use Christmas week. Didn't work out that way, but I still love it. I still am just happy. So now I'm actually a little bit ahead. Bonus video this week. Mistake on my part. Silver lining got me a little bit ahead. And look, we already have that day laid down. So we're all good, you guys. Like, we're all good. Okay. If you enjoyed this plan with me, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. And I think that's about it, guys. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.